In this video, I'm going to be giving you 8 steps that you need to follow in order to have a successful backpacking trip. So let's jump in.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
Now, if you've never backpacked before, the first thing you need to do is try it. Backpacking is not a cheap activity, and it's not necessarily an easy activity either. So make sure before you dive deep into it, you actually experience it, and then once you've got that itch, you can jump in. So plan a trip with a friend or friends that have backpacked before, that kind of know what they're doing. Borrow some gear. You can actually rent gear from places like REI. You can rent a full backpacking kit, or you can rent piece by piece the gear that you might need. So piece it together, plan a fun, simple, easy trip, go for it, enjoy it, then you can dive in deep and really get into it, and that's when it gets really fun. So, first tip for when you're really starting to get into backpacking is you've got to get yourself a good, comfortable pack. The pack I use is this one here, right behind me. This is the Osprey Atmos AG65. I would highly recommend this pack, and many others would too, because it is a very high quality pack. It's a good size to start out with, especially if you're just doing overnights or 2-3 nights at a time. But the key piece here is getting something that is comfortable. Everybody is different and needs a different style of pack for their body and their shape. This one, across the board with its anti-gravity technology, really makes it feel like you're carrying a lot less weight than you actually have on your back. And that's why a lot of people love this pack. It also has a lot of great features. If you want to really see the deep dive into it, I'll link the video up here where I compared this pack with another very popular pack, the Osprey Ether, and kind of go through why I chose this pack over that one. But regardless, you need to try your pack on. You need to figure out if it fits well and it works well for you. But for me, this was a great pack. My wife, Nikki, she actually has a Gregory. It's the Gregory DEVA. It's a 60-liter pack. It is fantastic. She loves it. But again, it's very different from this pack. I love the Gregory because it has a lot of extra features to it that I think are very nice to have. But for me, it was not comfortable. I didn't like the lumbar support that it had, and just the feel of it was not good. So you've really got to find something that is comfortable to you. The second thing is you've got to find a good pair of hiking boots. I have the Salomon GORE-TEX hiking boots. They have been fantastic. They're a true hiking boot with good ankle support. They're waterproof. They're a great price, a great value for what they give you. My wife has these Salomon Outline Mid GTX boots. Those are kind of almost a hybrid between a hiking boot and a hiking shoe, just because they're a little more compact, but they still have that ankle support, and they feel a little more like a tennis shoe rather than a hiking boot. And so if you're interested in getting a new pair of boots, we would highly recommend either one of those. So we'll link all of this and everything else that we talk about in the description below. That way you can get to those products very quickly, very easily. And then the third thing is you need to get all the necessary gear. If you're a hiker, you probably know about the 10 essentials. I'm gonna pop them up on the screen here. You need all of these things for backpacking as well. Some of them just might be a little bit different. For example, for shelter, you actually need a full tent, so get a good backpacking tent. You're also going to need a stove. I use a jet boil. These stoves are fantastic. I love the way they work. I love how compact they are and how high quality they are. Also, you need kitchen supplies, some type of utensils to eat, and then maybe a pan as well. Just make sure you have what you need in order to make those meals and eat. You also need a sleeping bag and a sleeping pad. Then you're gonna need more clothes, more food, more water, especially a way to filter water. So like I said before, that Katadyn water filter is what we use. It's fantastic, very easy to use, lightweight, easy to throw in the pack and get going. And then you gotta have first aid kit, and then just make sure you have some hygiene supplies with that as well. Now I also think it's very important to have rope. So bring, oh, it's over here. So bring some type of rope with you as well. I know there have been a lot of different times where I've needed rope, and having it was definitely a good thing. So bringing some type of rope with you is very important as well. And then just make sure you have plenty of weather appropriate clothing for all times of the day. Early morning, mid-afternoon, late night. Make sure you can layer up well. And then once you have all the necessary gear, number 4, you need to test and use that gear at home. That way you know how to use it when you get out on the trail. Set up and tear down your tent multiple times. Use your stove, make a couple of meals with it. Make sure you go through all of that stuff that you know how to use it. And then number 5 is kind of similar. You need to train for your backpacking trip, because these things, your boots need to be broken in, your pack needs to be broken in to make sure it's comfortable. And then you yourself, you need to really strengthen your cardiovascular strength and your endurance, because carrying a heavy pack like this on a trip for that length is not an easy task, especially over some tough terrain. Find some nice places in the area, load up your pack with all your gear, and do hikes. Do that for a few weeks leading up to it. Depending on kind of where your skill level is, you might have to do more than that. You might only have to do a couple of weeks. Really got to get acclimated to your pack, your gear, and then break in those hiking boots. That way you have the best experience possible. And then number 6 is you need to learn some necessary skills, just some of the basics. For example, learning how to build a fire. We've got a video on that. You can check that out. I'll link it up here. Also, learning how to tie some different knots, just some of the basics that are really going to help you set up shelter, set up camp. We'll link that video up here as well. And then some basic first aid and some just different skills like that that are going to really help you to enjoy the trip, because you know what you're doing and you're self-sufficient. And then number 7, this is when it gets really fun. Actually plan out your trip. And don't go alone. Take a friend, take a family member, get a group together, choose an area that is highly trafficked. That way if anything goes wrong, you know that there's going to be people that are coming through that area often. Also, make it easy, make it simple. Don't go do some huge trek in 2 or 3 days. Take one night, make it easy, find a cool area that is close to home, and just have fun with it. A couple of things that you need to consider when you're planning. Depending on where you go, think about the wildlife. If there's going to be bears there, you need to have bear-proof containers. Also think about the weather, and then think about if you're going up a mountain, the weather's different at the top than it is at the bottom, so consider that. Bring plenty of clothing, plenty of gear for that, to make sure that you are prepared. Then plan out your meals. Think about every meal that you're going to be eating while you're out there on the trail. Have plenty of food for each meal. You can buy some backpacking meals. These are very easy to work with, and they have a lot of good nutrients in them. It's just boil the water, add it in, and you can just eat it right out of the bag. Very simple. They can be a little expensive though, so you could go with something that's even simpler than that, such as summer sausage, cheese, crackers, peanut butter, different things like that. Just bring plenty of it, and bring plenty of snacks as well, because you're going to need to be refueling your body as you're doing this hike. And then last thing, most likely you're going to have to reserve a campsite or get a permit in order to do the trek. So if you're going to a state park or a national park, you can get on their website, or you can call the actual park, and they will get all of that set up for you. Usually it's a super cheap fee. And then last but not least, number 8, leave no trace. Follow leave no trace principles. Do not leave anything behind. Everything that you take, you've got to bring back, including your trash, and then anything that you use to go to the bathroom with. So bring plenty of extra Ziploc baggies, bring some Kroger bags, different things like that. That way you can load up everything that you take in and then take it out. And if there's trash, if you find trash along the way, even if it's not yours, pick it up, because it's going to make the experience better for everybody. It's going to preserve these amazing places, and we definitely want these places to be open for years to come. There you have it. That's the 8 steps to have a successful backpacking trip. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that it inspires you to get out there, make some incredible memories, and see some awesome places. I know for me, growing up backpacking, those are some of the best memories that I still hold dear today. So get out there and enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up, and then also let me know down below, is there anything that I missed, anything else that people should consider when going backpacking? Also, we'd love for you to subscribe, be a part of the Journey More community. We have new videos coming out every week. If you're a hiker, if you're a backpacker, if you're an outdoor adventurer, this is the place for you to learn different skills, to see some incredible places. And now we're also going to some unique and adventurous Airbnbs. So you don't want to miss out on those videos either. They're super fun. So be sure to subscribe, be a part of the Journey More community. Come journey more with us, and we'll see you next time.